Well, hello and welcome to the next generation of Super Rugby. We're watching the next Wallabies to come off the production line here in this new 3-week round-robin competition streamed exclusively on Rugby.com.au. My name's Lockie Gray. In the commentary box with me today is Liam Wright, and it's a new dawn for Australian rugby league.
Sure is. This next-gen concept is exciting. Everyone wants to get through the grades, put their name up, and you're going to have to verse people older eventually. So who's going to step up? That's what we're looking forward to.
It's so exciting. We're always keeping an eye out for who might be the next big thing. And the next 3 weeks might just show us here. Live from Eric Tweedale, it's round one, and it's the Waratahs taking on the Western Force. So just a bit of background into this competition, Wrongers. It's replacing Super Rugby 19s. And it feeds into the Australian 20s program because the TRC is in April and it's a pathway going into the World Champs in Georgia in July. It really streamlines that process.
It does, and it seems to make a lot more sense when you're going into that under 20s. You don't lose that year of guys who are sort of in between the age groups, and it just builds in nicely. Getting games in early in the year puts that Aussie 20 side in for a real shot.
So it's exciting. This is the first ever game of Next Gen. It's Tars v Force. You've also got Brumbies and Reds coming up tomorrow as we take a peek inside the Tars changing rooms. They have named an absolutely stacked side. We're going to have a look at it now. Hill, Simmons and Lange. It's a very experienced front row. All eyes on Isaac Vanua. He's going to be so exciting, that prospect in the second row. Marshall Lemaitre leads the side from 7. Shoot Shield watchers will know him from Norths and the Shoreman. Angus Grover, keep an eye on his partnership with Dane. Tom Farr-Jones, that's a famous surname, as is Fitler to keep an eye out for. Louis Fenwick, very exciting out the back as well. As we see a bit of a pump on, the boys are ready. So too are the Western Force, Soys, Mexon and Arcee in the front row with True and Johnson. All eyes should be on Luke Holt-Brown. He's a very exciting prospect out of Perth's Bayswater, as is Nate Galliner. Max Inners, one to watch coming across from Northampton Saints. Penny Nagau's got all the pace. Chris Jansen, Evan Hooper out to South Australia. Keep an eye on him if you're watching from Adelaide. Ryan McGuire's experienced at back, as is the coach, Jeremy Thrush. So we'll see a lot of new names, a lot of new faces, but yet there will still be some that keen watchers of Super Rugby Oz might note. We see that Leo Jakes has been named at 13 for the Waratahs, and a very, very big performance expected from Isaac Vanua out of the Waratahs. He spent the past 2 years in Aussie 18s. As we see the Force come onto the field, let's take a quick peek at them. And their number 10, Max Innes out of Northampton Saints. They've landed an exciting prospect coming across from the UK. He's won a Premiership 18s title with the Saints, and big things are expected from this man who can cover 10 and 12. A lot to like about an international playmaker.
It sure is, and Northampton just plays that really exciting electric style. We know how many of our Aussie guys have gone over there. Salakai Loto, Scott Young, Josh Kemeny over there ripping up at the moment. He's going to be a great find today.
So make sure you keep an eye on him anyway. He steers this Force team around the paddock at Eric Tweedale. A beautiful surface expected, and it certainly looks like that as well. The skies have cleared up nicely, good conditions as we wait for the Waratahs to roll on. But so many alumni from that successful Super 19s grand final winning side. They've got a bit of a dynasty in the age grade in New South Wales. So 9 of the 23 in Waratahs are going to be backing up as we take a quick peek at the conditions. A max of 32, no chance of rain. We're expecting some fast running rugby. It looks like a good deck.
Looks like an excellent deck. What a great time to play footy. And as you mentioned, those Tars, they had the success in the Super Rugby Oz and the Super Rugby 19s. They'll be looking to kick that off into Next Gen today.
And the 16s too. It's a stacked team led by their skipper, Marshall Lemaitre. As we just have a quick peek through, we've got down in our notes, Wrongers, 13 of the 23 in this Waratahs team have pulled on gold at age grade level. That's a stack of experience. And Isaac Vanua, we've mentioned him off the top. We're going to keep mentioning him because this man has dominated at Oz 18s levels for the past 2 years. He took the Kiwis to task in that NZ school series last year. You would have seen it from the box too.
Absolutely, and doesn't he just look like he's got that physical, that size, that's ready to take the jump to the next step? That's the whole purpose of this competition for guys like Isaac Vanua, to show what they can do against a bit more of an age grade and then impress the coaches up above.
Charlie Marshall, our man in the middle, just waiting on the referee's say-so in the first ever game of Super Rugby Next Gen, live from Eric Tweedale Stadium. As the Waratahs get us underway, it's light blue, dark blue, and the Force immediately cough that ball up, and Lemaitre is on that pill, leading early is the New South Wales skipper as the Tars roll into the 22. It's a fiery start. as Toby Bryle, the son of a Wallaby, carries strongly. Here's a good carry from Nick Hill, another man with Australia under-20s experience, and through the line. It looked a chance for Luca Cleverly, another man looking to press his claim. But it's great pressure from the force, and they've snuffed out an early scare here.
And that's a good recovery from the force. You couldn't have asked for a much better start from the Tars. Just the momentum of those carries was just looking electric. That pass could have gone to Whenua there, and he might have ended up under the sticks, but a great recovery with the Pilfer. Not the best exit, but it'll give him a chance into the game now.
Right wrong is the pace around the corner. That's incredible.
Luca Cleverly, if he could have flicked that offload off Whenua, would have liked his chances. But equally, how about that work? Was that Gallagher, was it? Over the ball.
Great work from the anchor man there. As we go to set piece for the first time, a chance now for Megson to find his target early. He does so. A bit of a bobble at the back, though. It's called backwards, and now Tanui has to wriggle his way out of the 22. Into the makeshift halfback role goes Johnson. And his locking partner, Crew, is the man who carries forward. Looking for an exit now of the Western Force here in Super Rugby Next Gen. Inners back in the pocket, takes to the skies, but it won't go out, and a chance for the Tars to counter. Through Harrison Dean, who links up with his fullback Fenwick, who's so impressive. In the 19s last year was Louis Fenwick. As they rumble around the corner, Nick Hill's had plenty of early touches, and he goes again. Good service from Grover as Dean puts the kick through deep into the 22. That's a sharp touch finder. It's going to keep pressure on the Western Force inside their 22.
Oh, that's just assured play, isn't it? They want to keep the force down there, pinned in, keep the pressure on. The ruck speed that Grover's getting that ball out is just electric. And Denner is just smart play. They're going to trust their defence here, the Tars, and if they can get a bit of line-out pressure, it's a tough place for the force to exit.
We can just see a little bobble in that first line out from the force, so looking to sharpen things up deep in their red zone. It's great service off the top, though, for Johnson. They have a chance to attack back through the midfield. A tough carry there from Gallagher, who got them out of the spot of bother earlier. Tanui's under pressure, but Innes is cool and collected. Doesn't find touch again, though. The ball's allowed to bounce, so a chance for the force to reset defensively as Fenwick is the man who straightens the attack, stepping off the right foot. Met with a solid shoulder from Sawyers. Max Sawyers out of Kalamunda doing the damage there as the Tars recycle. They play out the back. It's good ball there for Rory O'Connor, but he's met in the tackle there of Hooper, who's over that pill. Not rewarded that time, though, as Lange is the man who resets, and God, he's a big unit. Edwin Lange. So much excitement around that young tight head as the Tars play out the back. Fenwick finds a wider runner in Lemaitre, who's so dangerous and gets the arm free. There's space down the left edge now. It's fed back inside. And what a start from the New South Wales Waratahs in Next Gen. That's what we're here for, and they are certainly shining.
And that's what you want to see from your captain, Lemaitre, with the little jink, the offload, and then great finishing from the outside backs. As we look here, not too much going on. Force look well defended. Then Lemaitre just puts on the little shimmy, draws in his outside man, and gets the offload with two men in the tackle. And then what a finish. Louis Fenwick, not a lot to do at the end, but in the perfect supporting line for your fullbacks.
That's sharp stuff there from Lemaitre. A very famous name on that far wing, Tom Farr-Jones, the man with a try assist. A nephew, of course, of the legendary Nick Farr-Jones, but he's an impressive player in his own right. Team of the year for Super 19s last season. He's been known for shredding defenders, and he does so again to set up the Waratahs' first try of Next Gen, and that conversion is successful. So the margin, 7 points to nil after 4 minutes here at Eric Tweedale. It's New South Wales leading the force in the first ever game of Next Gen.
And those Tars wingers in that Super 19s comp last year had plenty of time just going up against each other to the top of the try scorers list. The work done on the inside, but great finishing. The job now, as we saw from the Force's first kickoff, is to exit with good clarity. Secure this kickoff and get out of your own half.
And the kickoff's a sharp one too. It was on the money there, just a little closer to touch. So for the first time, we'll actually see a bit of play down in the Waratahs' defensive half and a chance for them to test their set piece.
I dare say, Lockie, it looks like the wind might be causing a bit more of an issue than we maybe let on in the pre-game conditions.
It certainly does. Looks a little blustery, but the Tars managed to find their target, and it's a strong carry off the back from Luca Cleverly, who gets some good front foot ball, and the locks into play as the advantage is given there. Offside call, says the referee. So Glover looking for a run. He's trying to draw those forced pillar defenders. But so far the Westerners are up to task. Battering in the midfield, but they decide to go wider this time. The pass from Grover isn't on the money. The bounce pass might do them some good. There's a straightening run this time from Fittler. Well, aren't we excited to see Zach Fittler get a bit more time around Super Rugby Next Gen. Son of a legend in the rival code, of course, but he's committed to Union as Edwin Lange. The Bing unit is well met by the much smaller Max Innes. It's a good shot there. We'll come back for advantage though. Offside paid earlier, but pretty good signs from the Force defence. They're starting to hold those bigger runners.
The Force will be happy with that. First real defensive set off their 22 line and not going anywhere. Obviously the penalty is what's going to cost them. They're going to need to be assured of their discipline if they're going to stop this Tars tie-in. Once they get a roll, and they do have the size, they've got the bodies, they can create that momentum as we saw earlier. The good signs for the Force early.
Just sense that maybe they were a bit shocked in those early few minutes. They've picked up their line speed really nicely, but a big challenge now from this Waratahs pack. The line out is well worked from the Waratahs, and they're going to set up a rolling maul. And early signs are very promising indeed, as Dylan Simmons, the man controlling it at the back, as they rumble further into the 22. That's 5 metres now, and the Sky Blue machine gets a roll on. They're still going, make that 10 metres. It's promising stuff here from the hosts. In the 7th minute, they lead 7-0, and they're looking to land another early blow. Straightening now is Fittler. Gets them to within 15, and they're calling for it wider. This ball's called backwards. There's a bit of cleaning up to do now from Harrison Dean, who manages to do so. Grover calls on a runner, finds one in Lemaitre. Jacques pops it out the side, and a bit of money now, as it looks like we'll come back for an earlier error. In fact, it was offside. So good pressure being built from the Waratahs here in attack. They are looking sharp.
And that's a second offside penalty there by the Force. You can see they're just trying to play that around the corner. The maul just kept marching, kept marching. You could see the hooker there, Simmons, trying to hand it off to Grover, but he said, keep going, big boy. And then once they got around the corner, it's very hard to stop. They're getting those runners, they're getting those late tips at the line. As we see here, little fumble. Then this next play, I think it's Hill, the loose head prop. Just a nice little deft tip. That's how they're creating that seam and that momentum.
Line out one again by the Waratahs on the far side. Now look to maul again, but probably broken away a little too early there as Simmons, and he pays the price. It's good defence on the short side from the Force to force him into touch.
It is probably the wrong option there. Not much space down that short side, and you've got to be pretty assured as that hooker if you're going to break off. But the Force doing well. They're holding on.
Important set piece to win now for the visitors. They have been under the pump since day dot. But that's a strong win in the air from Max Johnson. And once again, they'll look for a midfield exit. It's a strong run this time from Jasper Arce, one of the many Roo dogs in this Western Force Next Gen side. And Inez has plenty of toe on that kick. In fact, it's bobbled at the back. Doesn't quite go out there. Harrison Dean's got away with one there as Fenwick recycles to Jacques. Leo Jacques, one of the stars of Super Rugby Oz, scored a try in the final against the Force last year and was in that Waratahs trial win over the Reds a little earlier. As the Waratahs look to attack again, Fenwick has been busy injecting himself from fullback so far, and the big runners line up cleverly. Goes again, his 4th carry in 9 minutes. Aaron Brennan gets a touch too. One of the regulars from that 19 side as Simmons goes digging. And they're managing to make some easy meters now. Big runners as they decide to unlock the backs. Dean, this one stripped away though. And once again, the Force defence holds up.
It sure does.
Is that above sternum? Yeah.
As we get a call there for a high tackle coming from the sideline, it looks like, Lockie.
We've got a penalty for a high tackle above sternum.
Someone's in trouble on the ground there, but that's exactly what we spoke about there before, Lockie. The Force defensive line holding up really well. They're not getting bidden in on those lead lines. They're holding nicely. I think it must be number 4 there, William Crew, who's getting called offside.
So there's the shot I think that gets picked up. It looks like Nat Galler's the one.
Yeah, you're right. But they're holding on nicely. They've just got to cut out these little penalties, and then their defensive line staying solid. They can put some pressure on at the breakdown like they did in that first set. And then they just need to exit, get down the other side, don't they?
That's absolutely right, but that's a hell of a touch finder from Harrison Dean. He's just been locked by a hit from big Nate Gallagher, and he puts them within 5 metres. So I think you'd say the Waratahs fly half has the last laugh in that exchange, and a chance to maybe test that rolling maul again from 5 metres out. And Marshall Lemaitre breaks off the back fence, goes cleverly, surging, scoring. What a try from the big blind side. You'd love that, Rongers.
Oh, that's a great play. That puts a smile on your face. You'd think with the maul success down that right side before, they might have gone straight through, but creating options off the thing. You can see Simmons on his corner there. Lemaitre choosing the right option, though. That's a great break around. And look at that seam. Plenty of defenders there, but just able to change his feet late, get his body in front, and dot it down.
It's excellent deception. You see the way that they draw in Luke Megson off the back of that maul. He was in the defensive line and he bites into join, and that's the hole that Cleverly decides to make. Well, it wasn't really there. He kind of decided to force it himself, but he's a hell of a unit, Luca Cleverly. 1 cap for the Australia 20s last year. He got injured against South Africa, though, so he missed out on his chance to really impress in that World Championship campaign. And I guess competitions like Next Gen are exactly the platform for players like Cleverly to make their mark.
Exactly, and when you miss out with a bit of injury like that, it gives you more footy to get into that lead. As we watch it here again, we talk about the footwork. He actually doesn't really go for the hole, but what he does nicely is creates a one-on-one. He doesn't run between the shoulders and allow 2 defenders to get in there. He creates the one-on-one and then trusts his strength to just burrow through.
Got a whole piece of Luke Holt-Brown there. It was flanker on flanker, great contact as Max Innes gets us back underway. It's a deeper kick. There's a great chase from the force and pressure on the try scorer Cleverly, who manages to roll out of a couple of tackles early. Geez, he looked like he was away again.
How about that for an involvement, though, straight after you score a try? Shame about the end result, but a great take off the kickoff, a little regather.
He might have been lucky not to get pinged for a bit of early contact there. Was Penny Nangau just pushing up, trying to contest with Cleverly, but after busting 3 tackles, the ball stripped away. You can see him practicing again. Got to hang on to that big fella. But for the first time in the game, so we're now 12 minutes as the clock ticks towards, and the Force finally have a bit of attacking set pill inside Waratahs territory. First chance to see this Force backline start to fire, and we'll go straight off the half arm. So they decide to go quickly. Tanui wants to play with pace, and he hits Chris Jansen out of Wanneroo, one of their many premiers in this side. They have a roll of the dice here as Tanui finds Innes on a hard line, getting the offload away. It's lovely. Nangau finds his other winger, and Chase Bunce gets dragged down. It's great play early from the Force, but they're inside the 22 for the first time. Off the back fence comes Arcee, and the Force playing with a bit of freedom now. Tanui looks left, looks right, goes left again, and the play at the back's good. Innes wants it. Oh, they had 3-on-1, but the ball just dips. Nangau can't hang on, and the Force cough up their lollies in a great position.
You can just see how dangerous they will be in attack, and they can be if they get down the right areas. The offloads on the side, the running lines, but then they just needed people storming onto the ball, didn't they, Lockie? They had some forwards throwing up, but then that second phase, Tanaki didn't really have options either way. Created Guest, a nice little pass out the back, nearly undid all that and made it work. But just the handling in the end was too much.
They're coming in rank underdogs are the Western Force in this game, but promising signs early of just what they can do with ball in hand. There's a solid scrum there, popping up of the Force. The call is use it though, and eventually it's the Tars who get away with that one. Can you break that down for us, Rongers?
Yeah, he's pinged the Force front row there for standing up. You can see the tight head there, Jasper Arcee getting popped a little bit. I've thought with how long the ball was holding in there, with neither team really going forward, he might have called for a reset. Especially you could see the Tars guys really trying to angle up there.
As we talk so much around age grade about the next exciting prospects, you've seen so many flying backs, but equally it's so important for our next generations of tight forwards to get good competitive scrumming and set piece work in. So it's really exciting to see these young loose heads and tight heads going at it as the Tars attack through midfield. The try scorer Cleverly is the man who rumbles over halfway, and they want to keep folding down that left side. Leo Jacques has been getting an arm through early. He can't quite link up this time. as Gallagher shoots out of the line to try and shut down Lemaitre. He takes an inside track back towards the 10-metre line. It's a solid one, so it's throwing off the commentary box sometimes when we check where we are on the field. Bouncing out of tackles. A wonderful run from Rory O'Connor, who benched both New Zealand under-18 games last year, looking for his shot at the top level as Langy, as he always does, making metres. Dean holds off the pass to Fanua, and here comes the money man. Up towards the 22. Grover plays quick, maybe too quick, as Leo Jacques is left to take two in the tackle and rumble up over the 22. But again, the Tars making pretty solid metres early. Sharp clean there from Cleverly when he had to. Playing out the back now go the Waratahs, and they have space. Fittler tucks and goes. Takes two in that tackle. They're within 10 metres now. Rolling forward is Nick Hill. Phases up over 10 now. And the Sky Blue starting to really turn the screws. How much longer can the Force hold out here? Dean steps back inside, creates space, and they've got numbers if they can use them. Marshall Lemaitre, so close now to both the touchline and the try line. They're within two now. They're getting so close to the Waratahs. Here's Isaac Fanua from close range. Well met in the tackle. It's a great showcase of young talent here. We're ticking up towards 15 phases, and they are not relenting. Within a metre now, the Waratahs. Here's Lemaitre, the skipper. He's so close. How much longer can the Force hold out? Not much longer. The Tars roll out a big gun, and it's their biggest in Edwin Langy.
Hard to stop him that close. Those tight end props reminds me a bit of a Harry Johnson-Holmes era. 1 metre specialist, Edwin Langy. Just the height and the power behind that drive. The Western Force have defended really well outside their line, but a bit guilty there of their forwards not actually getting low in that position, knowing that that's the type of run that's going to come. But that's pressure. That's a lot of phases put together by a strong forward pack. The backs coming in, as we just see, not really coming off the line from the Force there and not getting their shoulders underneath.
Just to be a bit clearer on that scrum.
That being said, Edwin Langy's a hard man to stop that far out.
You're right there. He is an absolute unit. Edwin Langy, 7 caps for the Junior Wallabies at 20s level last year. Was the player of the final in Super Rugby 19s last year as well, as you remember from the call. And he can score a close range try. Scored a great one against Argentina in Junior Wallabies Gold last year. So certainly one of the players to watch, and exactly what we want to see at Next Gen. Just, what do you do? Big man that close to the line, that's just physics.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's sometimes not a whole lot of coaching that can stop something like that.
So 3 tries in the early exchanges for the host New South Wales Waratahs here in the first ever game of Super Rugby Next Gen. We're coming to you live from Eric Tweedale Stadium. It's the Tars 21 leading the Force, yet to score after that Tars conversion, but the Force might have a chance. There, Jax has coughed up his lollies inside the 22, and it's a big error from one of their more experienced players. Maybe the Force can show something here.
Sure is, and while the scoreline's not close, those are also the things that the coaches are going to be looking at in this competition of what do you do that translates to the Super Rugby in the next level, and exiting after scoring points is one of those big ones. That's what gives that team that momentum swing back into the game. We saw what the Force nearly did with their first shot down this end, so this will be exciting to see if they can get something going again.
A great scrum battle last time, so we'll see what the Force pack can produce now. They've got quite a big blind side, but everyone's stacked behind the scrum, so no one on the left for now as the Force hold their set piece. And they want to play off the back. Tanui gets the pop call, and he plays short. Good deception there as Jansen tries to forge his way into the 22. They play wide, and that's a great spot tackle. They're going to call him coming off the line, though, and they want to play with pace, do they? No, just a bit of hesitation there. Penny Nangau wanted to have a quick run, but I guess we're going to see them plug the corner and really exert the first bit of pressure on the Waratahs here. It's an exciting time for Force fans as they get their first crack deep inside the 22.
Yeah, and you can see there just the offside line. I would have liked to see Nangau go fast, but then again, Jeremy Thrush is your forwards coach. He must have a good maul plan sorted, I would say.
I don't think Thrush should be too pleased with someone quick tapping in that position. Yeah, keep an eye on Penny Nangau out of Southern Lions, one of their academy prospects. He has pace for days, the man in the number 11, as this maul is won and set by the Force. It's good work there from Will Crew, and they're starting to press forward to the Western Force. Will we see their first points of Super Rugby Next Gen? The call is okay, he's so close, he might just get picked up. And in the end, it's excellent defensive work at the line-out from the Waratahs to deny the Force a metre from the chalk.
Yeah, that's well done. Was that Cleverly who got through there as well, Lockley? You could see the setup of that Force maul. They banked around the back corner and just absolutely shifted through. Got themselves going so nicely. Cleverly's done a great job to get himself through, get onto the ball. As we see here, he comes right through the middle. I would question whether or not he's allowed to pull that down afterwards, but the ref is right there. He's made a call. And that is a great save, 2 metres out from their line.
We're just saying a quick drinks break, so as they go through a bit of a break, we'll just quickly review some of the try scorers so far. It all started with Louis Fenwick as the first ever Super Rugby Next Gen try scorer. Some great interplay from the Tars down the left edge between Fenwick and Far Jones after the break from Lemaitre. Next up was Luca Cleverly, who scored a wonderful try off the back fence, a bit of deception from a maul 5 metres in. He rumbles over the line, and then most recently to take them to 21-0, big Edward Lange after a great build-up and great pressure. The big unit stumbles over. Let's take a look at that first try again. It's great pace from Far Jones, and every fullback's dream support line there from Fenwick to get them started. This is the deception we mentioned just before, Wrongers. It's great work breaking off the back. Lemaitre and Cleverly takes route 1 and carries 3 Force players over the chalk with him. And of course, to round out proceedings, I mean, what do you do here? Great rumble, great picks and goes. They got to within a metre, and then when you're that close to the line, of course, you pick Edward Lange to get you over there. So a pretty sharp start from the Waratahs, but the Force throwing a lot at them too.
It sure has. The Force aren't too far away. Their defence is held well, but the ill discipline is probably what's costing them, giving the Tars chances to march up. And once they've been in that 22-metre line, the Tars Next Gen has just been dynamic. Their backs are coming in, their forwards are doing the tough yards. Seen a few of those tries, that nice play off the line out. We've seen Edwin Lungy come in for the short play off the pick and goes, and then we just saw the work of the finishing of Far Jones and of Fenwick. So they've got it all there. The Force just need to get themselves in the right areas of the field, I would say.
I think so much comes down to that continuity as well. We know that there's such a core group of the Super 19s from 2025 that is steering and driving this New South Wales side, and a few more untested combinations here from the Force in round 1, but it's a pretty short tournament. They've only got 3 weeks to bring it all together, so a bit of trial by fire stuff as we hear the referee to get us back underway after a short drinks break. It's hot and heavy out here at Eric Tweedale Stadium as the Waratahs 21 leading the Force, yet to score here in round 1 of Next Gen. What have you made of the pace of the game so far? It feels like, despite the weather, they're playing some really up-tempo footy.
Oh, it has. It really has. The only breaks we've really had at the call have been when the tries have happened, isn't it? So as soon as that ball goes out, their line-out's set up, the scrums, they're not wasting time. The refs are doing a great job of actually managing the breakdown so the ball is flowing. And, yeah, a lot has to be said from the intent of both these sides as well. You could see Penny Nucko wanted to go quick before. See, they took that quick tap off the free kick at the scrum. They don't want to sit around. They want to impose themselves, and they want to put their style on this competition.
No, of course.
As you've mentioned, it is a sprint. It's not a marathon. Just 3 weeks round-robin contest. There are no finals for Super Rugby Next Gen. It will be each team playing each other in round-robin format. So coming up tomorrow, the Brumbies against the Reds. Some of the biggest stars in junior rugby are going to be in that game. Trayvon Pritchard and Frankie Goldsborough are lining up in the centres for the Reds. That is very exciting, even for a non-Queensland fan.
That's going to be a great one to call. There is... what you're going to see in this competition as well is a lot of guys who've had pre-season experience. They might not get the game or the trials at the end, but they've gotten a lot better, and they've got that pre-season just rigour and hardness that's going to come through. And you look at Trayvon Pritchard, you look at a Frankie Goldsborough, guys who've already had a bit of a taste above that. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting game.
So many players in this game too that are training with the top squads. Angus Grover, the man with the pill in his hands, is one of them. Such an excitement machine. He captained that Australian under-18s team to a 2-0 series sweep over New Zealand. Such a hot prospect out of New South Wales, and he's the man who's got to get his team out of trouble here. They go straight back to Dean on the exit, and it's a solid exit too. That might just be a beauty if it bounces the right way, but regardless, they've peeled off 80 metres from behind his own line. So a glorious exit there.
Open up out of the 10.
As the Force decide to take to the skies, it's Ryan McGloin who puts it up and goes, and suddenly on the counter attack goes Dylan Simmons. So the Tars, from a defensive scrum and an exit from their own goal line, are now looking very good indeed. And Dean leans back on the boot. Oh, he's put that on a dime. Liam Wright, you don't see better 50-22s than that.
Well, not only the 50-22, how about the one before it? You're on your 5 metre line, you've got a scrum there, and now you're 5 metres out from the other team's try line with just 2 kicks. That is amazing. That is amazing.
It's a beauty. We're just going to get called back. We got referee confirmation that it was passed back into the half. But that is absolutely pinpoint, and it piles more pressure on the force from here. So 2 monster kicks from Harrison Dean out of Barker College. He's a player that's been climbing through the ranks steadily through academy, 18s, 19s. He get his shot at Next Gen, and now the strip is good, so the pressure back on from the Waratahs. Great work there from Cleverly, who forced the error. And Lemaitre is the man who gets wrapped up in a good tackle there from Evan Hooper, but still the Tars in control. Here's Simmons, straightening the line of attack. Fanua, so strong in contact. He's well supported there by Langy and Bryle. And now a chance to punch down this right side. It's a juggling ball there for Hill, but they rumble up the middle. Fanua gets so close. They've got to be careful with their discipline here, the force.
On the line.
As we see the sky blue jerseys start to lay siege again. Will they keep it tight, or will they look to unlock these great backs? Why would you when you've got players like Luca Cleverly? Rolls over again, and it's a 4th try to the Waratahs. That was brutal efficiency in tight.
It was, and it started with Luca Cleverly. How about the hit from Marshall Lemaitre first underneath, and Cleverly comes in with the rip. But then the forward's going to work. The little tip is often what works. You get tightened in, you get condensed, and then that's the space that opens up slightly off that second defender. And Cleverly, we saw the footwork one-on-one before, and now we see him carrying into bodies. It's been good this game so far.
He's been very sharp. It's just that little shimmy right to left. He manages to just get that defender off guard, shift to a slightly weaker shoulder, catching them square-footed, and I mean, 2 tries in the early exchanges. You can't be too mad about that as the in-off conversion goes from Harrison Dean. And the Tars now really have a stranglehold on this first half. They go up 28 points to 0, and it comes off the 2 wonderful kicks that put them into this position.
Oh, it sure did. You've also got to appreciate this Tars forward pack is playing very unselfishly. You saw Fanua with that nice carry. I thought he could have reached out and tried to reach the try line, but he puts it back, recycles, goes the next phase. Edwin Lungy getting involved, and none of them are scared of shirking the breakdown commitments either.
This player resumes from the boot of Max Innes, who was one of our players to watch, but we just haven't had a chance to see him conduct this force backline too often. As Aaron Brennan is the man who cleans up for the Waratahs. Rover, for the first time, takes to the skies off the box, and maybe could have let that one go. We'll see how it plays out, but Innes is pinged for jumping and carrying that over the line. Maybe just misread that one, Roberts.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that would have gone out on the full had he have left it. I think that's what he might have been thinking.
Sub. Okay, good to go.
Perhaps hoping for the rules around taking the ball over the sideline seem to change so often these days that might have got a bit confused with that one.
It's a tough one, and it puts the force back in a tough position, and a familiar one defending inside their own half. As Dean rips one wider for Fenwick, who gets the pass away to Farr Jones. Oh, he's greased lightning! Tom Farr Jones just dragged down 8 metres out, but he gets up and goes again. A taste of how fast the New South Wales winger is. And he gets his side to within 6 metres. They're running high to the hosts here at Eric Tweedale. Dean wants to rip to Fittler. Cleverly scored 2 already, and Simmons can draw and pass, and the Waratahs can score their 5th. It's easy as you like for Rory O'Connor.
Sure is, and that ball going side to side is just a credit to the style they're playing. Farr Jones, geez, he had some pace on him, thought he might have gone all the way. A great saving tackle from Penny Nugai. But then one carry, and then the ball needs to go and they let it go. That's great. The forward's getting involved here, getting the ball to space. Simmons did a great job. He probably could have shown and going there as well, but just knows that he's got that finishing capability outside with O'Connor, and he makes it look easy.
Good hands from the big men out wide. You could see Fittler was screaming for it, identified the space, unselfish from Cleverly. Simmons does enough to half draw 2 defenders, and just not quite the shot that Evan Hooper wanted to get. He just got caught a bit, gave him the old turnstile. And it's a 5th try in 25 minutes for the Waratahs. They're looking very good indeed as Harrison Dean gets caught by the wind, just swings to the right for his first miss. But the margin 33-0 already, and God, we'll just get eyes on Tom Farr-Jones if you can even see him. That's unbelievable stuff from the nephew of a great. He's forging his own legacy here in Super Rugby Next Gen.
Yep.
Very tidy from the Waratahs early as we see a couple of replacements coming onto the field. Sam Blank, exciting halfback prospect is Sam Blank. Got a taste of shoot shield footy last year with eventual champions Warringah. So keep an eye on him and how he runs the show here in Sky Blue. Means Angus Grover's come from the field. As the Waratahs reset from the kickoff. 26 minutes gone. They lead 5-0 here at Eric Tweedale in round 1 of Next Gen. And the box kick is high and hanging. This time it's better read and bobbled, but eventually controlled there by a new man on the field. That's Tama Anderson in 23 for the Force. And good strong contact there from Ryan McGloin, who weaves his way through. It's a sharp run from the Force fullback, and he sets up his flanker on the inside. Oh, the last pass goes down. Oh, it's tough to see.
Knock on advantage.
Wonderful enterprising play there from Ryan McGloin, but he can't link up with his teammates. Eventually it comes back though, and the Force now have a chance on the counter somehow. The draw of the pass. Here's Penny Nangau with the goosey. Can the Force get their first try? They can! It's a bit of history for the Force. And it's try time here in Next Gen. Fatani Tavake is the man who dots down. And it's a wonderful try for the visitors.
Oh, I'm glad they got the try at the end, because that run by Ryan McGloin deserved to be on the highlight reel. That was excellent. Survived a couple tough shots, then the in, the out, the in, the out. Just that last pass was nearly the wrong one. You can see that shooting defence from the Tars is a bit of a staple of their game. Sawyers does well to get it to the speed man, and then offload galore. Back in again, back out of the hand. Brilliant.
The numbers falling off the jersey, but I think that's Ricky Hart who's managed to lay on that final assist.
20 seconds.
It's wonderful stuff. Penny Nangau with the goosey, the flick back inside, and wonderful support play from the new man, Fatani Tavake. A very exciting prospect too, as Fatani Tavake played 16s and 19s. He's gone through that Force pathway. He's part of their academy now, and he's got so much variation in his game too. Covers a lot of positions. We're excited to see where competitions like Next Gen can take these kind of players out of WA.
It sure is, and that's something the Force have done really well over the last few years. They've invested in their academy. We've seen coaches like John O'Lance, Jeremy Thrush come through. You know, Nick White's doing coaching back there as well. So they're building that pathway to make people from WA stay in the Force.
Backwards.
The Force somehow bobble and regather that kickoff. Not as clean as they would have liked, but finally on the scoreboard and getting involved in this game. Here's the try scorer, Fatani Tavake. Stepping his way into the sky blue line. And around the corner, buoyed by that try, come the Force. What else can they throw at the Waratahs in this first half?
Stop in front.
Back into the pocket. The exit looked like from Cornish, and it's not gone their way, so they'll march a long way back for a defensive line out. Again, the failure to exit, so key in this high-level competition.
It is, and what we've seen well from the Tars so far is that they don't need to take those extra phases, the extra risk, I suppose you'd say. Whereas the Force there needed 2, 3, 4 phases to get themselves to the right place to kick, and then just butch the execution.
It's tough there as the Waratahs go straight off the line out, and Luca cleverly, of course he does, scores his third. And that's probably the easiest. He rolls over from a lovely pass from Marshall Lemaitre, and that 6-7 combo has been paying dividends for the Waratahs.
Yeah, that's been deadly. Marshall Lemaitre is doing an excellent job just skipping out and targeting that seam. Creates that work and that line for Luca Cleverly, who's running onto it strong. But that's a dangerous area of the game for them to attack. It's a very hard one to defend too, especially when you're trying to create that width that the Tars can take too. But the setup there's nicely. They keep it in long enough that Sawyers there has to bite. And then you can see the Force hook and Morgan. It's a 2-on-1. He has to make a decision, and Lemaitre makes the right choice.
Cleverly showing plenty of toe for a big man as well. A bit of a soft effort there from Gallagher. You would have liked to see him try and jam in a little harder, but Luca Cleverly, 3 tries in Super Rugby Next Gen. He's having an absolute stormer so far, and again, that combination of Lemaitre and Cleverly exploiting the hooker defence from Megson, just getting caught out in no man's land, and they roll straight through.
It is. It's one of those things where you can't defend everywhere, so you have to try and pick and choose where you're going to shore everything up, and that seam has to be first and foremost, especially after we've already seen a try scored through that similar area by the same man.
So 40 plays 5, 31 minutes gone here in round 1 of Super Rugby Next Gen, and Eric Tweedale. It's a huge hoof for ball, and it's bouncing cruelly. Eventually cleaned up there by Tama Anderson. It's part of that Super Rugby Oz squad in the force, so another one of their prospects, and another kick. Sails into touch. This time it's from his own 22, so bit of a better exit there this time from the force. I'll be keen to see a bit more of Tama Anderson about this year, and it's good to see the subs getting a roll early. There's going to be lots of movement. I think we'll see plenty of rolling throughout the year at Super Rugby Next Gen level, getting as much game time into as many players as possible.
Absolutely, that's the way it should be.
So play off the top. Fanua again involved in that line out, and Cleverly, you can't keep him out of the contest. Carries hard again. They switch back immediately, and they've got players stacked out wide. It's good defence shooting out of the line this time from the halfback. Tamarangi Tanui is the man putting plenty of pressure on, and he forces an error to hit his side the pill back.
That's a great shot, and the force were lined up really well there. You can see again, they're sort of set piece defence. They're just general defence in the middle of the field has been very good. They're making the right choices of when to jam. You can see them following each other in. They've just got to shore that up a little bit more down the field and hold off those penalties.
Crouch!
Certainly hasn't been lacking in action here in the inaugural Super Rugby Next Gen hit out. The Waratahs 40 leading the force 5. It's the far side that's pinged. It's a good shot there from Nick Hill that forces the penalty there for his side. Plenty of experience that he brings into this Waratahs Next Gen unit. Wrongers, 3 caps for Aussie under-20s last year through the TRC, and he was named in that Team of the Year at Loosehead prop for the under-19s. Another great prospect in the front row coming through Australian rugby.
And that's exactly what you were saying before, Lockie. You love the handling and all the fancy stuff outside, but when it comes to loosehead, tight head props, hookers, that scrummaging has to be first and foremost, and it's nice to see as well.
Don't break the 10, okay?
Meat and potato stuff here, and a chance for New South Wales forward pack to run amok once again as the rolling maul is set. Bryle steering the ship there, and they're making good meters early. Keeping it tight this time. We've seen them break off the back early through the Lemaitre, but it looks like Banks is telling them to go all the way. Broken free goes Simmons. Picked his time perfectly, and he picks the force's pocket.
And that is the pressure that comes with defending a great maul. He probably could have stayed on and we would have got a similar result, but really smart choice of when to break. We saw earlier he broke to that left side and probably did it at the wrong time. But just keeping his eyes open, looking for opportunities, and taking the right option, the easier option there as well, which his forward pack would have thanked him for.
There's good comms there from Sam Blank. You see the halfback working with his hooker saying, this is the time, this is the time, this is the time, break. And eventually he goes over with barely a finger laid on him. The Waratahs restoring that 40-point buffer. They are just looking so strong here on home soil. So many Australian representatives across the age grade, whether it's 16s, 18s, 20. There are so many Waratahs who've pulled on a gold jersey, and that quality is really shining through here at Eric Tweedale as this conversion sails over. Harrison Dean's been a bit of a dead-eye dick with the boot so far, and it's a very healthy lead that the Tars have built here in round 1.
It is, you're right. You can see that maul set up right in the middle. Just got that height slightly lower than the force. Fanua takes 2 or 3 guys out there on that left side, which is a very tough skill to do, but just opens that doorway for Simmons to climb through.
Inside.
So play back underway. The Tars 47, leading the force 5, and just caught outside, so I think they'll be taking that back. No. Oh, it's a beauty of a kick again. And we talk about the forward play, we talk about the running, but tell you what, the Waratahs have dominated the skies in this half two, Wrongers.
They have. Again, we ask whether that's the wind or just the amount of purchase they're getting off their kicks, and especially their exit kicks. He's just catching the force back three off guard.
I'm sure the force will be hoping that's a bit wind assisted as well. They'd love to be playing with it behind their backs. We hope it is in the second half. Not long to go before Oranges as the force look to exit their half. Tanui finds Anderson, and now it's been picked off by Leo Jacques. And after a couple of early errors, the Super Rugby Oz star takes one to the bank. Ruthless efficiency from the Waratahs on a loose pass, and Leo's got 5.
Yeah, and it doesn't get much easier for Jacques there. Just way too premeditated and way too sideways from the force. That long pass there from Tanaki, front of the line out win, and we're going far out as we can. Just allows that Tars defence to just keep creeping up and keep creeping up. And then I don't think that back ball was on. We'll see the replay again, but Jacques and Far Jones were up in that line already. Yeah, as we look there, kind of, we talk a bit about premeditated moves or playing what's in front of you there, Lockie, and I think that's one where we're going off the training pitch, but we have that live pressure, and especially with the shooting defence that we've seen from this Tars back line, just the wrong option.
Yeah, you want that one again, Luke Hopground. A bit more eyes up from the force as the Waratahs really start stacking on the points here before halftime. It is 54 plays 5 after that conversion. A great opportunity for players like Leo Jacques to really push their claim for a Super Rugby Pacific call-up. He earned 4 Super Rugby Oz caps last year, one of the finds of their tournament. Scored a try in the final and trialled against the Reds at Ballymore last week, so he's certainly looking to push his claim, and it's kind of what Next Gen's all about. It's a mostly under-20s comp, but older players around the senior squad, if they're looking to really develop, looking to get more game time, this is exactly the environment to do that, as we see the Tars box and take to the sky again. Sam Blank, since he's coming on, has really been pushing that aerial contest, finding it right on the edge. It's been troubling the force back three, putting it on a dime within that sort of tram track area. It's a tough thing to clean up as a back three player.
Oh, exactly right. Yeah, you watch the 9s and the 10s at training really practicing those kicks, and the good number 9s are just looking for hang time and they're looking for where it lands, and every single one by Sam Blank, and I dare say Angus Grover as well, have ended up in that sort of 0 to 5 metres from that sideline. Incredible accuracy.
I always talk about that extra defender as being the sideliners. The lineup just betrays the force there. Service off the top, just a little short from Will Crew. Tanui can't hang on to it that time. We'll go back to the scrum, which has been a good battle so far as we see the replay. That one, you think, caught in the wind as well.
Yeah, and that's where we might be talking about the combinations. As you say, 13 Tars guys that have played together, come through the pathways. Not quite sure how many of these force guys have done those combinations and those deliveries from lineouts and all the little things that add up to less of those little mistakes in your game.
So not long to go before halftime now. It's the Tars 54 leading the force 5. They did manage to get on the score sheet with an excellent try, but it has been largely one-way traffic from the hosts. And they'll get their chance again. Attacking from about 42 metres out from the tram tracks closest to your screen on the right hand of their side. As Blank feeds. Good contact. We're watching that far side of the scrum. It was a great battle, but it's released this time, and Dean finds Jacques, who plays at the back, and there's plenty of toe from Rory O'Connor. We saw him score one earlier, but this time, breakdown pressure. Plenty of pats for the force. They've managed to snuff that one out. And a rare win at ruck time for the visitors.
It was great defence initially on that jockey around to the sideline.
Holding on.
We've seen the pace that this Tars back three has, and they didn't let him get around, and they bit in at the appropriate times and then kept their width. And then wingers getting pilfers, isn't that something to see?
Such an important skill. We see some of the best pilfers in the game playing in the outside backs now. You think of a Filippo Dalgunu, a Dylan Peach, Timothy Tavatavanawe, multi-skilled backs that get over the ball. It's such an important part of the game, that breakdown area, and great to see, as you mentioned, Rongers, some of the backs getting their hands dirty as we see the force rip from the back of this line. A chance to run and some heavy contact there. The force midfield bounces out of it like a pinball. Bounce pass this time isn't great. There might have been a little hand in there for the Waratahs. And that's exactly what our man in the middle says. Rory O'Connor pinged for a slap down.
That's what you got the penalty
And a
for.
chance late in the half for the force to get back into their attacking half and hopefully find some points again.
Yeah, all they'll be trying to do is to finish this half with actually some positive things compounded together. If they can win this line out, get a couple phases, potentially draw another penalty out of this Tars team, then they've got their chance at points before half-time.
We've seen the wind catch these past two line-out throws from Luke Megson. That one's better because it wasn't contested, so they'll get to have a run from around halfway. Anderson, the man who straightens as finds Hornish has come onto the field. Now a bit of play at the back, but the line speed is so sharp from the Waratahs, and they're swarming their Force rivals at the moment.
Hold your feet, step, prop, step.
Force having to come back and regather now. But it's tough going here, as with clock ticks into red.
Step.
Here's to Nui. Wants a brave runner, finds one in Ricky Hart.
No, play on.
They're not making too many metres. In fact, they're going backwards. This Waratah defence, so strong. Sam Blank this time, the man, driving his opposite backwards.
Use it!
So up goes Sanui in the red. Maybe he should have just put it out because it looks like the Waratahs might chance their arm again in overtime. Here's Leo Jacques. He just scored that intercept try, and he'd love another one here. Pressure at the back on Far Jones. It's bobbling around and it's messy as we get towards the break, and a big clean out coming from Simmons. Fanua, the man who carries forward towards that 10-metre line, playing off the back is Blank. And the show and go from Simmons, who managed to hold his feet, get the offload away to Jacques. And the pop down the blind side is good. It's excellent play from the Waratahs. The Force go fishing. Messi, they're calling for a knock-on, but the Waratahs will play on with it. And Simmons, the man who started it, breaks through the line, and he's the man that finishes. Oh, two massive involvements from the Tars hooker, and he's rewarded with a meaty on half-time.
He's lost his boot along the way, but he's been excellent today. Jeez, he makes that look easy. Just a pick and go down that blind side. There's Force defenders all around him, but just the strength to keep going and making good decisions. That's what this Tars team is doing. I'd have to argue that the box kick aimlessly to the middle of the field against that sort of back three is just setting you up for danger, especially when your forwards are contested into that left side. But then the Tars, on the other hand, just making the right choices, making the right decisions, and playing as that team. Dylan Simmons, the one to finish it off. He's had a great first 40.
He's been busy. Hooker in such a mobile role now. You see them come in all shapes and sizes, and he's certainly a ball runner on top of his set piece. As that conversion sails over, and the Tars bring up 60 before half time, thanks to that last gasp try from Dylan Simmons. He set it up with that first run, beat 3, and then beats another 2 and carries a third over. If you're a super coach man, Dylan Simmons is your favourite. As we head to the sheds with the Waratahs in the dominant position. 61 plays 5, and it has been ruthless from the hosts in round 1 of Super Rugby Next Gen.
My mind, it hasn't been right. I'm afraid. But I can't afford to be afraid.
Most people's first instinct is to run from danger. You ran right towards it.
Who are you? Memory of a Killer. Stream now, only on Stan.
Oh my goodness! Here we go! How many rotations is that?
My brain just exploded.
Down we go!
Oh, wow. So hungry for the goals.
She's the Olympic champion! Oh, that's spectacular!
I promise to protect this family.
I got you.
Everything I'm doing, I'm doing for you.
We've been brothers for life.
You can't trust anybody.
Sometimes the people that you trust the most can turn on you with no warning.
Family sticks together no matter what.
He's gone for goal, and he's gone!
There's no feeling quite like it.
A day they will never forget.
You understand how massive this is going to be?
How good was that? Brilliant play.
No man has ever beaten me.
Now I'm a little intimidated.
Guess what I got?
A restraining order from another recipient.
That's funny. It kind of is.
We've got some problems.
If you don't go to him, it'll haunt you forever.
In 2026, let's watch together on Stan.
Let's go.
So another season excitement is off and running. Oh my goodness! Here we go! Fantastic skiing.
Unbelievable scenes.
Where on earth did he find that one from? Big hit made. What an absolute scorcher. This is something else. That is nothing short of magnificent.
Well, ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in to Super Rugby Next Gen here on Rugby.com.au's YouTube channel. Hopefully you've had a breather after an action-packed first half. It's been largely one-way traffic, but it hasn't been wanting for tries. Here was the first from the Waratahs down the short side. Great interplay between Far Jones and Fenwick to get us started. But the Tars in this first half have just been so strong. Liam Wright, it has been a bit of a clinic. It's 61 plays 5. What's really been the difference between the two sides so far?
Well, I think the Tars have played just really smart footy. They're not getting carried away with selfish plays or one-off hero plays. They're doing what needs to be done. You can see Simmons here, perfect example of just giving that ball to O'Connor. He could have reached out for the line. He could have probably gone himself. But this was a great example of what the Force can do off a great run by McLuhan. Sawyer's doing the right job, getting the ball to the speedster, and then we get to see a few of the Force offloads now coming through, dotting the ball over the line. But after that, it was all New South Wales.
There was a wonderful moment there from Vitani Tavako, but you're right, it has been pretty brutal. Luca Cleverley has been the man dishing out the most punishment. Already racked up 3 tries. That was his third and probably the easiest of all of them. He ran some very tight carries, but so much of this dominance, Wronglers, has come off the back of that pack. They have been just a step ahead in attack and defence. Set piece has been strong, and then I guess passes like this don't really help either.
Yeah. Some of the Tars, some of the Forces plays have probably just been a little bit premeditated instead of reading what the Tars shooting defence is doing, and then Simmons finishing off his second. He's been excellent, but off the back of just strong forward carries, basic momentum principles of rugby.
So there you have it. There's the scorecard. 9 tries to 1. It's Cleverly and Simmons doing most of the damage, along with Langley, Jacques O'Connor and Fenwick. Harrison Dean too. He's been very clean off the boot. 8 from 9, plus some massive kicks in play for Tani Tavake. Obviously finished off that lovely try from the Western Force. But we want to talk a little bit more about Luca Cleverly, because he's been so solid, and as a man who's played plenty of 6, you must love to see movements like this.
Oh, it is. And we're talking about him because he's got the 3 tries, but he's done plenty of stuff well here. We saw the first one where he's able to line up. That's just that one-on-one, then beat him with skill. The second one, he's able to actually get himself into a really nice tight position. And this is just excellent running lines there. There's just smart seam play. He's got a lot of credit to go to Marshall Lemaitre as well, who's running some excellent 7 play off of those lineouts and those split seams. But he's been excellent today.
It's been a dominant back row, and it's not often that you think that Toby Rowell's the man who's not dominating the headlines, with Cleverly and Lemaitre pulling strings. We'll be back in the action very shortly here at Eric Tweedale. Half time, it is the Waratahs 61 leading the Western Force 5. More to come. Well, if you're just tuning in to Super Rugby Next Gen, round 1, and you're a Waratahs fan, you'd be fairly pleased. Your team leads 61 points to 5. It's a dominant display from the hosts so far here in Next Gen. As play gets underway, Eric Tweedale, 9 tries to 1 in the early exchanges, but little bobbles, little errors leave room for hope for the Force. Liam Wright's with me on the call. Lockie Gray, the man behind the mic here as well. It's been an interesting game. We're trying to pick apart some good parts from the Force as well, because they've shown plenty, but just limited opportunities so far.
They have shown promise, and as we mentioned a bit in the first half, there is a bit of a wind. I don't think it's a 56-point wind, but we do see with the start there just how much extra purchase you're getting off the kicks. That'll make the exits a lot easier for the Force and get them down in the right positions to do what they can do.
Well, time will tell, and it's certainly nice to see the Force with a breeze behind their backs. It's yielded a scrum just 7 metres out after 40 seconds, so a great start for the visitors. And they've got a fresh man on as well. Looks like Angus Cornish, product of New South Wales country system, playing out of the Central West. The boy from Dubbo, bit of time with the Wildfires as well. He's the man who's come on in the jersey number 21. Some early purchase here at scrum time. They've pinned Langy for collapsing, so good work there from Max Sawyer. And a good scrum battle, as it has been all afternoon actually. That's probably been the area of most parity. The Force really looking to squeeze and pressure that tight head side. And unsurprisingly, they'll pack down again. What are we looking for in these kind of situations? Wrong as you're 7 metres out, you're on the attack.
Well, you've got a couple options here, really. If you think your scrum's going to go forward, then marching them backwards makes that back row have to stay on, and you get a really nice seam there as well. Alternatively, if you can get that ball to the back quickly and your 8 can just go, that is very hard to defend as a back rower and coming off that edge.
See a good squeeze, a good hold from the Tars too, as Cornish plays off the back, and this time we've got Evan Hooper, who carries back against the grain. Off the back fence goes Gallagher. This ball's popped out, and they're playing with advantage. So Cornish wants to go quick. Can we see some early pay for the Force? Oh, it's bobbled out. That was so close too. An error 3 metres from the line. It's come back their way illegally, says our man in the middle. And a bit of prime real estate goes begging for the Western Force.
Yeah, that's a disappointing start to this half for the Force in their first real attacking go since their first try earlier in the game. Before the penalty was called, a little handling error, then afterwards the quick play is what you want to see, but another handling error.
The kick, the touch funder doesn't go out this time, so a chance to recycle and attack. And again, it's Ryan McGloin, who's been one of the bright sparks for the Force so far, counter-attacking strongly from the fullback role. As Cornish calls on his runners, they want to play with a bit of width, but that pass isn't on the money, and the Tars have a chance to break clear. It's put on the toe, and it becomes a foot race. Nangau, the man who cleans up at the back, in great feet for Fatani Tavake. He carries back against the grain. Does well to reset after the first pass went behind him. And it's the Force who find themselves back in possession.
Let go.
Settling period is going to be testing on the lungs for a lot of these young bodies. Some of the highest quality footy that they will have played in their careers. Great opportunity to showcase their wares right here on Rugby.com.au. This one's taken to the skies. Fenwick's the man at the back, and a chance to counterpunch through Far Jones, who has so much pace, and he draws and he passes, and Leo Jacques is skipping down the side, feeds back into Far Jones. Can he get the defending away? No, it's a great tackle from Luke Holt-Brown, who had his struggles in the first half, but that's a wonderful try saver from the number 7.
That's a great try saver. Even to keep up with Far Jones there is tough work in itself. See, using the speed to turn in that outside defender. And then Jacques doing a great job. Holt Brown, that's an excellent covering a tackle with a strong fend coming off Far Jones.
Yeah, we had a line out set.
Really timed that well too. He stuck with his man. He didn't hit too early. It was great scramble from the fetcher there, and some good signs. Desperate defence from the Western Force as they look to battle their way back into this contest. Just a bit of attention being given now to a Force player here in the far corner, so we'll just wait and see. Hopefully this player's all right as a bit of comms gets sent back. But again, that counter-attack and the speed with which the Tars can recycle and punch down the wings it's impressive. They've got some real speedsters in the mix there, Rongers.
Oh, it sure is, and that's where the Forces need to be a bit more. They're a little bit aimless with the way they're kicking at the moment. A lot of kicks going directly down the middle of the field, giving the Tars options to both sides. Whereas as we've seen with those box kicks and exits from the Tars at Grover and Sam Blank, they're landing between those 0 and 5 metres from that sideline, only giving them one option, and a really tough option at that.
So a try-saving tackle, but their reward for the Western Force is they have to exit from their own 5. So pressure cooker stuff here on Luke Megson. Had the wind catch his throw a few times in the first half, but he hits the back and he hits the money. That's an excellent throw from the Force hooker as the visitors look to bash their way out from behind their own line. Cornish goes digging. Inez is the man who exits, and exits well. Deep over the sideline. Make sure there won't be any quick play, because it's the speed that's really been serving the Waratahs well so far.
It has, as we see another Force man down in the background who receives some attention, and Max Innes, the playmaker from Northampton that we ID'd before, is back on the field. Interestingly enough, this tight five for the Waratahs has pretty much remained, getting some good minutes in the legs, and they've all been very impressive. We spoke about Isaac Fanua, probably expecting more highlight plays from him, but what's been really impressive is the fact that he's doing the dark stuff, he's doing the breakdown work, he's doing the clean outs, he's doing good tackles, and he's making good decisions. We spoke earlier about when he could have reached out for that try line, but instead a strong place back, gets it ready for the next guy, and that's been the trademark of this Waratahs Next Gen forward pack so far this game.
Been doing a lot of really good work around that attacking ball too, Ron, as you see him really dragging out defenders, creating space to drive through as well, and it's excellent to see your locks working in the tight, doing the good stuff. There's a bit of attention there for Gallagher, who's been patched up. Just a bit of claret at the top. Bread and butter for the back row. As Simmons doesn't quite hit his target. It's cleaned up at the back from Megson, but he's under immense pressure. Does well to get that ball back for his side. And the Force with a lot of work to do just outside their 22. Straight in the line of attack. looking for just a seam in the sky blue wall. I don't think they'll find one, so Cornish takes to the skies. And the chase is on from Gallo. A good contest coming up, and it's won by the big man at the back. He should have had the tape on earlier. He gets his side on the front foot as Cornish wants to try and use the pace in this game. Innes picks it out well. That's a good hold for Tani Tavake, who steps out of a couple. There's the try scorer, but he's eventually well met. Cleverly all over him there, but the referee says not this time. Soares carries up over halfway as the Force continue to play down the short side, and Innes doesn't find his target this time. Wasted opportunity there after a bit of rare and precious possession.
Was, and we look back at this great tape by Gallagher, but then the Force team just don't look ready to play afterwards. When you get those wins in the air, those 50-50 recollects, you need to go, and you probably need to go wide. They didn't have the numbers set either way, really. They're just looking to phase too late on all of their attack.
And back to live pitches now. Bryall wins that line out, and they're going to play with pace. Dean on the wraparound. A chance for Fittler to feed Fenwick, and Fenwick's got plenty of toe. He skips through three, gets a money offload away. Oh, that's champagne stuff. James Archer dots down, but Louis Fenwick gets the magical assist.
That is just strong. Look back at this replay. He draws in 1, 2, 3 Force players, and then still manages to get that offload away. That is perfect.
Oh, hang it in the low, Wrongers. That is one of the great offloads. Under so much pressure, frees up the arm for James Archer, who's got the toe to get there. And the Waratahs picking up where they left off in the first half, and that might be one of the better ones that we've seen this afternoon. Excellent backline play, driven by the 2 touches from Harrison Dean. Gets Fenwick on the overs line, and that's a wonderful finish.
It is just great injection from the back. It's exactly what you want to see from your fullbacks. Putting themselves in, but putting themselves into the game with pace.
So from the far side, keeps it to the left, so the conversion is unsuccessful. So we just take a look at this, the show and the go from Fenwick, and just the presence of mind to get that left arm free and put it on the chest of James Archer. It's wonderful stuff from Louis Fenwick. It was really tough probably not to be named in that team of the year for Super Rugby 19s last year. He was just outshone by Wallace Charlie, who's now with the Australian Sevens program at the Western Force, but I don't think too many would have blinked if Louis Fenwick got a chance. He is a seriously quick finisher and silky smooth at the back for the Waratahs. As we return to live pitches, they've cleaned up that restart, and Leo Jacques is the man who takes the first contact. 66 plays 5 as we tick towards the 50-minute mark here at Eric Tweedale. Cleaned up at the back from Blank, who has been a real proponent of this box kick so far, and he does it well again, putting it near those tram tracks. This one's a little closer and easy to clean up for Anderson, who does that job. And called in the commentary box from Liam Wright. New South Wales sealing over that ruck, and they're rightly pinged.
Yeah, just his hands going a little bit past the ball and then clawing back. Something the refs have really stamped down on. As Max Innes goes quick.
It's an interesting choice, but I guess they haven't had much of the footy, so they want to hang on to it. And again, McGloin, so elusive in that fullback role. He's been held up by probably 2 men that you don't want to get anywhere near, in Cleverly and Fanua. Maul's the call. Simmons is involved as well, and they're going to wrap that one up. Somehow there's an arm that's popped it back the way of the Waratahs. We thought they'd get a scrum, but the Force swamp. And now a chance for the Waratahs to counter-punch. Nick Hill only knows one way, and that's 4, but he's driven back, in a good shot from Megson. So Dean says, let's not play in our half anymore, lads. Let's take it downfield. Max Innes looking to recover. He's outside, and he wants to put it just in the corner. Oh, good footwork there from Harrison Dean to keep it in. He goes on the left foot this time. Good skills there. The 2-10s trading blows. Ennis has to clean up inside his own 22. He'll look to put this one out, but he's going to hang just in, and the man that you don't want to kick it to, Louis Fenwick, has the peel. He wants to link up with Far Jones. He skips through again, breaks 3, feeds back inside. Leo Jacques is going to have the pace. No, he's not. He's dragged down. Great covering tackle there from Daniel Grant, but the Tars aren't done yet. He thought Luca Cleverly's in for a 4th, but it's a wonderful tackle. 1 on 4, and somehow the Force get away with murder there.
Oh, that's a good save. Fenwick with the injection again. That ball needed to go out. And look at this, he just does such a great job of breaking, and then not a little pass, but just holding that ball into space for his players to run into it. Braille does a great job to recycle quickly. And this is a good tackle. Great jam in by Max Innes there to save the day for the Force.
There's that man again, Luke Holt-Brown as well. After a shaky first half, really starting to assert himself defensively, jamming up, putting good hits on, but we've also seen some more fresh faces for the Force. Keep an eye on number 20, Daniel Grant, a Safa out of Cape Town. Very highly touted prospect from the SAC school. As we see more subs starting to roll off, you can see number 20 there in the black Gilbert headgear with the green trim. Big wraps on him out of the Republic. As Innes looks to find the touchline and take play up into the attacking half. It's just been so much pressure exerted on the Force, and they're finding it so hard to get out of their own half at the moment.
Yeah, they'll be questioning their decision before to go for the quick tap. Probably the one area of this game where they really have looked level is the set piece, that scrum, that line out, that maul, and yet they opt against kicking themselves 30 metres downfield and taking that line out option.
Just waiting and seeing some calls for changes for the Force. Just a bit of confusion around the replacements, but we've got Ollie McGinnity coming onto the field now, one of the Force's standouts at under 19 level last year, adding plenty of height to this Force set piece. And this one's overs again, the wind playing havoc, and the Force starting to really put pressure on at the back for Nua, the man who gets it out to Fittler, and Fittler hasn't had many chances so far. Such an impressive young prospect. He carries, straightens the line as the Tars roll around the corner. Bryle, the most recent now. Dean picks out a lovely pass for Hill. Didn't need to throw that pass. You get the sense the Tars, they know they've got it in the bag, and they're just starting to rush. They need to use these opportunities, get this game time in, and really start capitalising on all this territory.
Yeah, well, you said it, Lockie, didn't need to throw it. It's so tempting. He's made a good carry. He's got past the game line. He sees a man in a blue shirt there, in a light blue shirt, but exactly right. Does not need to throw it. And that's what they did well in the first half. That's how they built up a 61 points, was it, in the first half? That's how they did it, just by making the right decisions, playing that patient game for the next phase.
You said it there wrong, as it's got to be credit given to the Force defence in this half. They've just conceded the one try, so they were down 9-1 in that first half, and just ticking towards 15 minutes, and they have been resolute. It hasn't been the cleanest all the time, but they've certainly scrambled well. And the set piece, as you mentioned, really starting to pick up a few new faces to be tested here for the Waratahs now. We've got Oniti Finau coming on into the hooking role. We've also got Cooper Green into the second row. So a couple of changes there, but Oniti Finau, another big unit, played Aussie 20s in 24, so he's one of the two players in this New South Wales team that are over the age of 20. Capped against Argentina a couple of years back, and another exciting front row prospect to keep an eye out for. So big challenges now for the Force, who have been solid at scrum time so far. And a solid again. It's great to see Grant plays off the back to Cornish, but Cornish is caught by himself. They were just a little bit out of position there. Anderson caught behind the line, but he manages to scramble, manages to secure. This time, it's Max Johnson. Hasn't seen much of the pill so far. Got plenty of experience in Super Rugby Oz, did Max Johnson. Coming out of Wanneroo, but just not a lot of punch so far in the Force. They were caught short off that initial scrum platform, and the Waratahs got their defensive line set. Here's Evan Hooper. Going side to side, not a lot of forward. And Innes didn't hit him on the chest. He managed to skip out of the first one, so a wonky exit. You can see the impact of that wind, though, wrong as you were bang on there. Tars back down deep in their half, and Dane wants it contestable, wants it blowing back. And where are the Force back three? Gets there, it's Cornish who has to clean up, but he's caught by himself, and the Tars are flooding this breakdown. They should win it, they do win it, and Fanua's the man to pick it up. Great counter attack there from the Waratahs. And they've got a backpedaling Force defence to work with. Here goes Blank, wants to play short. Fanua with the soft hands. Bryle with even softer. And Far Jones, can't quite link up with Fanua. But it's impressive interplay from the Tars forwards down that short side.
Oh, that was beautiful to watch. Toby Bryall, look at the hands here. That is perfect. Getting Far Jones into space. Fanua pitching in as well. He just couldn't field it back inside there. But that's the options they're creating both sides. The force with a really disappointing set just before. Not really having anyone set up either way to go. Very spread across the field, but no one to punch through the middle. Whereas this Tahs Next Gen side has just taken opportunities left, right, or straight through.
It's those core skills that coaches harp on. It's just hands in front, soft, short passes. It was executed almost perfectly in their side closest to us. But scrum time just got a little bit more interesting as well. Harper Strawn has come onto the paddock in jersey 18, packing down at loose head for the Waratahs. It's been a good battle so far. So let's keep an eye on him out of Sydney Uni. Is Harper Strawn. 66 plays 5. 57 minutes gone here at Eric Tweedale. And a huge squeeze from the Tahs is well met by the Force, who managed to clear their line. Hooper throws a long pill, and it's a good pill too, creating space for Anderson. And for the first time in a long time, the Force had pill in space. Penny Nangau was the man who got caught out, and somehow it turns around. And Louis Fenwick says, thanks very much, I'll have another. Oh, it's an absolute coach killer there, Wrongers. They were in space and suddenly it's 5 points the other way.
Oh, that hurts, but when it rains, it pours. The long ball was excellent, the right option. As we've said all day, the Tahs are shooting. They're coming up hard, especially from that outside edge. Makes the right decision, and Penny Nangau just could not hold on. And Fenwick popping up in the right space, playing the whistle, gets himself a real easy 5-pointer there.
Salt in the wound was that ball popping straight up to the chest as well. It could have gone out, it could have gone dead, but the rugby gods are unkind. And that's gone straight to Louis Fenwick, who banks yet another try. He's been probably the pick of a very impressive bunch in that Waratahs backline so far. As the flags go up and the score goes to 73-5. What was an emphatic lead is now turning into a bit of a rout here at Eric Tweedale. As we see the replay, the wide lens gives us that better shot because our poor Camo was caught off guard, and Fenwick, with the control of the right boot, gets the regather. He couldn't believe his luck as it dropped out of Nangau's breadbasket.
I was getting so excited seeing Nangau with space in front, ball in hand. And he probably just got a bit overawed. He was excited himself.
Let's go, Leeds, guys. Let's go.
Had a bit of a look, so much open pasture. And instead it's 7 points the other way. Just about an hour gone here in round 1 of Super Rugby Next Gen here on Rugby.com.au, Lou. As play resumes from Max Innes, high and hanging, and well handled by the Waratahs.
Stay there. Hold there.
Who are well and truly on top in their home patch.
Yes.
Blank again. Takes the aerial route. He's put her in a good contestable position, and the Waratahs the ones who clean up. But Johnny on the spot there is Luke Holt-Brown, and a chance for the Force to counterpunch. Hooper has found his way into the game in the second half, but he's under so much pressure. And the one man you don't want over the pill is Marshall Lemaitre. He was doing most of the assisting in the first half, but he's one of so many of those next generation Australian fetchers really starting to put themselves on the scene.
And it's hard when you have so much possession as a fetcher. As a number 7, you really want to get over that ball, but when you're up 73-5, there's very limited opportunities. He's done well there to put himself in the position. The clean out just flies off their feet, so he has that grab, gets his hand over, and rightly rewarded.
The captain of this side, probably with Grover off, is Marshall Lemaitre, and C next to his name as well. It's rare to see players this age with lots of first grade experience, but Lemaitre has really made a name for himself with North and the Shoot Shield. There's the penalty. Hands in the ruck called against the Force, and you just get the sense that after that early resistance post half time, the cracks are starting to appear again, Wrong, as it's a big opportunity now for the Tahs to really twist the knife.
Sure is. The Tahs just need to, I think, get their line out sorted. A couple of overthrows now. Lungy cleaning that one up at the back there, but if they can sort their line out, you're right, I think the scoreline will keep extending.
Quarter there, Wrong. Longers. Bobbling ball at the line out. It's been the one area they haven't quite been able to nail down. And the Force have been pretty impressive in that regard. Good contest, good pressure. And we're going to have a quick drinks break. So take a breath, ladies and gents. We're lucky we're not the ones out there. 30+ degrees at Eric Tweedale. The Waratahs 73, leading the Force 5. Just the 2 tries so far in this half so far from the Waratahs. And we're going to take a quick break in the commentary box too. We'll be back shortly. Well, welcome back to the call here. It's Super Rugby Next Gen on Rugby.com.au. Lockie Gray in the commentary box here with Liam Wright, and it has been comprehensive so far from the Waratahs. They lead 73-5. Yes, it's a real test of lungs now out in the heat in Sydney.
It sure is, and just that finishing skill, that's what the Waratahs coaches are going to want. They're going to want them to not take the foot off the throat, keep accelerating and keep going for the basic fundamentals that'll win them games deep into this competition.
Great test of character, of skill, and also of this next generation. It's what the competition's all about, this new format. It has replaced Super Rugby 19s. Is this new setup and bring it early in the year so it can inform selection for the Australian 20s as they prepare for the Rugby Championship in April and then the World Champs coming up in July. So plenty of future Australian 20 prospects in the mix here as the Force resume play with a scrum deep in their own half. It's good trundling stuff there from Chris Jansen to try and get his team out of trouble, but the Waratahs defence has been resolute so far. Huge amounts of pressure, great line speed, and they continue that after the drinks break. 62 minutes gone here as the Force looks for an exit through Tamar Anderson. And for the first time in a little while, we've found the touchline. It's been a bit of a weakness from the Force, their inability to find touch and keep picking out that back three.
It has, and one they should continue to try and find, because the Waratahs line-out has just had some errors creep into it in the last 3 or 4 throws.
There's some keen observers from the Reds and the Brumbies watching these games. Of course, Queensland and ACT get their next gen underway tomorrow in Canberra. Keep an eye on that with the call with Jordan Hughes and Liam Wright right here on Rugby.com.au. And the Force, the ones have cleaned up well, and they have possession through Cornish, who spins it back to Anderson, who's taken over that playmaker role. And it's a good hoof, plenty of pressure on Far Jones, who juggles nicely. Ballet flats instead of boots, and he gets through the line. He's so quick, he's Tom Far Jones, and he's got the fend out as well. Eventually bundled into touch. But Next Gen has given us a taste of Tom Far Jones, and I think Australian fans like it.
Yeah, you can see how exciting it is. The pace on the man, and then that little skill with that chip and chase, really hard to do. Weaving in and out, keeps the legs pumping. The work on for him will just be holding that ball when he's got a strong right palm, but keeping that left arm contained.
They did just enough to get him into touch. 3 covering him, so the Force did a good job there, but again, you give him an inch and he'll take a mile. The nephew of World Cup winning Wallaby Nick Far Jones, building his own legacy for that name. Tars back and hot on the attack. Here's Luca Cleverly, a hat-trick hero from earlier. Been one of their best up front as Dean decides to tuck and run, taken in the tackle of Fatani Tavake. And the sky blue jerseys keep rumbling on. Here's a newer man in McGinnity. No, rather it's Green who surges up into the line. Finau with his fresh legs driving forward, and they're making meted so easily of the Waratahs. Fanua gets an arm free, and his teammate takes it to the house. A lovely finish, a lovely offload, and the Tars flex their muscle in tight. It's Harper Strawn with 5 points.
Well, how about that interplay from the Tars forward pack? We saw that nice little tip before the line. We see Fanua going through and the little offload afterwards. They're following each other up with such venom. There's always someone there ready for that offload. We've seen Fenwick do it a few times, and now we see the forwards get involved. That was that man Fanua we talked about setting up that nice play, and Harper Strawn just in an excellent position to take advantage of it.
Well, you know you're doing something right for conditioning when your tight head's busting through the line with you. Great support play there, and just reward for Harper Strawn, who's been busy since coming on. Wearing 18, but he's packed it loose head. And the points keep getting piled up. Tell you what, Wrongers, Tweedale's not the only place they're piling on points. If you're tuning into the sevens over on Stan Sport, the Australian women 54, Great Britain 5. An absolute rout to get their defence underway. It's an exciting time for Australian rugby, having so much going on. We've got Next Gen, we've got the sevens, Super Rugby Pacific starts next week. It really feels like the year's up and running.
It does. The rugby's back. It's going to be a great weekend in Perth.
You ever consider having a run around in sevens, Wrongers?
Oh, I have, but my lungs told me not to.
It's tough on the engines. Very impressive athletes. Make sure you go tune in over on Stan Sport to watch Australia's men and women on the World Series. Women defending their title at home. The men have been to the past 2 grand finals in Perth as well, hoping for big things. As we return here to Tweedale. And a good clean-up from the Force there. Starting to find a bit more of their own in the aerial battle. Fighting for every metre. Hasn't always been polished, but they have not given up of the Western Force. And Tama Anderson's really starting to straighten the attack since coming into that playmaker role. Cornish picks and goes. He's just jagged down, but he gets the offload away, and now some enterprise from the Force. It's great work from Jansen, who just couldn't get the arm free and just bobbles it forward. Oh, another what might have been moment for the Force after a great break from the ruck base, but here's Cleverly, who wants to go, and it's Fenwick who's got all the toe in the world. He's not going to do it himself again, is he? He feeds back inside. Oh, Holt Brown. You can't keep him out of the game. He dragged another one down. Here's Cooper Green now. Lung-busting stuff. Here at Eric Tweedale, the long pass is excellent, and he picks out Zach Fittler. End-to-end from the Tars as they push towards 3 figures. My goodness, I'm exhausted calling it.
That's been the story of the day, Lockie. The Force just going so close, but just can't finish that last little bit. And then the counter-attack from the Tars, cleverly involved, finding the right man, Fenwick, who gets that ball inside. You've got to give credit to Luke Holt-Brown. A couple of amazing cover tackles today, but couldn't save his team there, recycling the ball. Cooper Green has been good since getting on the field late. And then this is a wonderful ball. Sam Blank and Zach Fittler. What a finish. Beats the man and then finds a space. A tired Force defence.
They had 5 options in tighter, and Fittler calls it wide. He says, I want it, I've got it, runs that unders line. It's impressive that they've got so many numbers around the ball as well, and you know from plenty of experience that it's always more lung-busting defending rather than attacking, so you've got these fresh backs there ready to go. It's the last thing you want to see coming back and trying to get back into the defensive line is a fresh Zach Fittler.
Oh, it sure is. And, I mean, you've got to feel for this Force side. It's really hard getting back when you're down by 80 points, but, you know, you credit some of those players. Holt-Brown, who's made some huge efforts there, but equally you credit the Tars attack for just getting in the frame and putting jerseys around the ball.
I mean, so good at identifying space on the counter. They never go straight up the guts. They're always finding seams on the edge. So 87 plays 5 here in round 1 of Super Rugby Next Gen. Live via Rugby.com.au. Eric Tweedale. And it's the Force looking to get their first points of the half here. Went down into the break 61-5. Held the Tars out in the early exchanges after oranges, but the hosts are really started to pick up their game. Cornish says, I'll try again, and runs into 3 Tars. Forces the error. And now tired arms, tired legs, tired hands. The errors keep piling up as we get to within around about 10 minutes of full time here.
Yeah, some good intentions there by the Force forwards, trying to get those late tips at the line that the Tars have had such success with. But as you said, as it gets closer to the end of the game, you're tired, you've got to execute even sharper. Just slightly let down by the hands there.
It'll come back eventually the way of the Force, so a chance to attack from midfield, and a rare position, one that we would love to see them cash in on because we know that their backs are electric. Once they can hang on to it and get that ball moving, they've got plenty of speed, so our best chance in a while to see what the Force can do from a set-piece platform. Running the cutter now is Tanadabika, but he just doesn't quite get the arm free, and now the Tars, again, too easily recover possession. And Dean calls for it. Shapes to kick, but he decides to throw the pass, and here's Vunipola, Lotu Vunipola, and yes, he's that kind of Vunipola. Feeds his prop mate Harper Strawn, and the Tars starting to get their roll on again. Blank wants to play quickly. Fanua's got soft hands, he delivers to Justice Taumapeau. Well, imagine bringing on Justice with 10 minutes to go. He's a serious talent as well. There's this young back rower in the 20 jersey for the Waratahs. As the hosts keep rumbling forward, Blank finds a recent try scorer, Fittler, who's well met in the tackle there. Too many players off the feet though. And the play goes quick. The quick tap from Marshall and Matra. There was a little bit of a break there. We weren't sure if he was going to go himself, but he wants to go quick. Play's recycled. Try is scored. Or is it? Oh, it's a tough call there on Justice Taumapeau. He's called short and rolled over the line. He's not happy either. He's just come onto the field. Thought he'd bagged himself a meaty.
I think he might have some credit there in that argument too. I thought he'd scored that. The Nitro with a real nice little quick tap and go after a little consideration with the ref. So watch here. Oh, yeah. The ref is right. Aren't they always?
Aren't they always? That's the rule. Just a little bobble. He's got himself into a great position to see that too. And he'll want that one again, Justice Taumapeau. Such a talent. He's packing down at 8, but really leading this next gen almost. He's almost the crop beneath. He skippered the New South Wales side in Super Rugby 16s in 2024, played in 23. He played Aussie 18s last year as well. There's a lot of hype around Justice Taumapau, and it's exactly the platform to see these players in action right here on Rugby.com.au. Super Rugby Next Gen as the Force win a scrum penalty and show that they've still got a bit of fight left in this contest. 8 minutes to play. Waratahs 87, Force 5. Not the touch find Ernest was hoping for. Just struggled a little to find his rhythm in this game. There's the young Saints playmaker. But they'll still have a chance. They'll have the throw here. As we see in 17, Xavier Hawira also coming onto the paddock as well. Product of Palmyra Club in WA. Played the Prem Grade final last year. Looking to make his mark. Here's Grant, and he's dumped in a two-man tackle from Cleverly and Taumapau. Welcome to Next Gen. As Innes says, I don't want to run at that, I'll kick it. The line out is quick, and the Tars are stacked. If they want to run it they will. Here's James Archer, he's already got one try. So does Rory O'Connor, who shakes out of the first, shakes out of the second, and holds his feet well. It's a good run, a pinballing run from the number 14. As Blank wants to play wide, Dean's been so silky. Fanua's got strength, wants to wrestle out of the tackle of Gallagher. And they'll look at that tip as well, but Far Jones finds himself an open pasture, and he finishes in the corner. The tries keep coming. There is no relief for the Western Force in Next Gen round 1.
Well, a lot going on there. I got distracted by Fanua nearly getting upended, but Far Jones just takes everyone napping, gets himself into the corner.
He had the presence of mind to just keep playing. You heard the crowd go up as the legs went up. I think Gallagher realised where he was going, managed to sort of straighten Fanua out. And while everyone was watching the tackle, Tom Far Jones said, oh, thanks very much, I'll bank that. Tidy finish in the corner. And we're into the 90s now, so the Waratahs looking to raise the bat at Eric Tweedale. There's a bit of grey cricket going off camera. It might look like a similar scorecard if Harrison Dean has his way from the sideline. Pretty tidy off the tee so far, Rongers. He's been hitting them pretty well.
Very tidy. As we see the scoreboard there, 11 from 14 on like 11 from 15, but a very windy day and a lot of out wide kicks. As we look back, Luca Clavelli just adding to his highlight reel from this game. So you watch, jeez, that tackle could have ended very badly, but Far Jones does a great job. And I'd also like to point out Harrison Dean. I think he's been excellent at when they're getting that front foot momentum, not bothering to play through the forwards on the next phase, get the ball in my hands, and then he gets it to where it needs to go. He's been excellent.
That's a great shout. He's been the general for this side. You're seeing Angus Grover come and go. More time for Sam Blank, but Dean's been a constant there, running the Carter, and so good kicking in general play as well. It's not just his work off the tee. He's been very effective, so a good shout there as we see him again lean back and pump it downfield. This one's going to stay in and be contestable, so Max Ennis says, I'll hit it back the same, but no real chase from the Force. There's a lot of tired legs out there, and the Tars will have a chance to counterpunch from their own end. Fenwick loves running, so does O'Connor, and Tom Far Jones. Well, hasn't he been one of the finds of this game so far? This time he's well handled in the tackle of Anderson. And Blank says, let's go route 1. Lines up the forwards. Finau's the man to get them over the halfway line. Good pressure from the Force in that breakdown, but not rewarded this time. Dane with the block play. Fenwick. Here's Archer again, looking for his second. He straightens Jinx. Finds Tom O'Hara, who's fresh onto the field. And great clean up there from Max Ennis. I thought Fenwick was going to storm through again there, but the Force have managed to scramble well. And with about 4 minutes to play, they're looking to take something out of this game and this half. Ball stays in, however. And here's Rory O'Connor with plenty of space in front of him. Probably not the go. Straight up the guts to Daniel Grant, who got chopped and was looking to dish out a bit of punishment of his own. Justice Taumapau takes 2 to bring the big fella down. As Blank wants to play with the Matra. Tucks and goes. Caught for numbers that time, but makes a good decision. As the Waratahs storm towards 3 figures. That's what they're chasing here at Eric Tweedale. The pop's good though. Oh, lovely interplay from the front rowers. And off goes Strawn. Ball bobbles back. Somehow it's found its way into the Force. And they duly kick it back downfield. So where's our chase? Tired legs. It's the man who kicked it who's wrong-footed there by James Archer, who puts it on the toe. That's silky from Archer. Oh, he's not going to do it twice, is he? This ball's just gone out. And he's just denied his own highlight reel magic as James Archer. Oh, they're not going to die wondering, are they, the Tars? They really want to push it to the very end.
They do. They really want to get those triple figures, and a lot of these little sharp little kicks coming into play just out there. But the game's really loosening up. The forwards are getting a bit tired, although that interplay from the forwards there from that Tars side off that line break was excellent. And the backs are trying their hand.
So the Force managed to bundle back this line out. It's good work at the very back to clean that up, but so much pressure over the ruck this time. He's just lost his footing, I believe, as Lemaitre over that pill. So a play with advantage, and Fatani Tavake wants to play with width. Backing up this time is Hooper, who's lost the scrum cap now. They'll come back. Remonstrating there is Lemaitre. Looking for a trademark pilfer, but with the dying minutes, he's not rewarded.
That's the danger of us flankers having the captaincy, is you can go straight to the ref and say, but sir. Yeah, just his hands getting slightly beyond the ball. But he has been a menace at that breakdown in limited opportunities, and he's been a great leader for his side today.
He certainly has. You mentioned Harrison Dean before. Who else has impressed you from this Waratahs side? Wronglers as we tick towards full time?
Yeah, I think Luca Cleverley's hard to go past. He's obviously got the 3 tries in the first half, and but it's the outside stuff. He ripped the ball for that other try earlier in the half. In the first half, he did a great hit before. He held up that maul at least twice. He's been excellent. Louis Fenwick as well from the back, just the injection of pace. And hard to go past Tom Farr-Jones as well.
Plenty of names, and they're working hard. They're going to push, as you said. I'm not sure if they're going to hit 3 figures. I'm not sure if they've got the time, but they will certainly try as Dean puts up the chip for Archer. But Nangau's there to clean up, and wouldn't we love to see him in space? Offload again doesn't go his way, and somehow it's bounced back the way of Tom O'Hara, who's got so much pace. And cruelly, the Force are back behind their own chalk. After looking to counter-punch, it's the Tars who pick up the scratch. And Tom O'Hara is the man who dots down. How many times have we seen the Force in a prime position, throwing a loose pass, and the Tars pick their pocket?
The what could have beens for the Force today if they'd have finished that last pass or that last involvement. Tom O'Hara hit hard after the ball there. Not sure if they'll be rushing this kick to try and get another go, Rocky. Sounds like that's what the ref's interpreting it as.
And we'll see how they go. They're 97 plays 5, and Tom O'Hara hasn't been out there for too long, but another impressive talent from New South Wales. He was part of the Australian team that went to the Global U7s in 2025. Finished silver medalists behind New Zealand there, and he's got a big future ahead of him as well, Tom O'Hara's. Full time is called here in Super Rugby Next Gen. It's 97. The Waratahs defeating the Western Force 5. So not quite raising the bat, but certainly a good innings from the host. And certainly some future stars unearthed here in round 1, Rongers.
It was. It's an exact look at what we want to see coming out of this competition. People putting their hands up. We're probably hoping for a little bit more of a contest. But the Tars, they really earned that scoreline, didn't they?
Yeah, it was brutal stuff. Ruthless efficiency from the side of which the core is so cohesive. They're so unified, this New South Wales team. 9 coming out of their grand final winning side from the Super 19s 2025. As we have a look back at some of the second half highlights, and Louis Fenwick probably set up the try of the match with that beautiful offload going into the arms of, it was Tom O'Hara in that first half, and we see it turned around again. Penny Nangau thought he was away, but Louis Fenwick said, no, not today. Not today, I'll take that one all the way home. And the points just kept on coming for the Waratahs. It turned into a bit of a rout at the end, but there was some lovely forward interplay, which we love to see. That pass for Nua to Strawn was an absolute curler.
It sure was, and here comes Fitler calling for the ball from a long way out, but knowing he can beat anyone in front of him. And all it took was the one. A really tight forced defensive line there, but here we come. Tom Farr-Jones just creeping on loose balls, and that's what the Tars did really well, especially in that back line. Any ball that went to ground, they were first ones on it, as we'll see right here. Tom O'Hara, the benefit of another loose pass thrown by the force.
And that's how he finished up. Tommy O'Hara completing his double, the second half effort here at Eric Tweedale Stadium. It has been a dominant display from the New South Wales Waratahs here in Next Gen. 97-5, cleverly Fenwick and Simmons, the multiple try scorers, out of their 15 metres. Dean with 11 from 15 off the tee. An excellent finish for Tani Tavake, scoring that excellent forced try in the first half to make sure they didn't go home empty-handed. And we're hoping, certainly hoping, Wrongers, that the Reds and the Brumbies, there's a little bit of a tighter scoreline tomorrow. They're going to be right back here on Rugby.com.au. Got me in the call is you and Jordan Hughes from 2:15 at the University of Canberra. That's shaping to be an excellent contest.
Yeah, it sure will. And we've spoken already about some of the exciting names in both those sides. We've got Eli Lungi in the Brumbies side, who is a highly touted prospect. And then we've got guys like Trayvon Pritchard, Frankie Goldsborough, who seems to be 20 forever, getting his chance again this year and trying to impress for Super Rugby Pacific.
Thanks very much for tuning in to Rugby.com.au's live stream of Super Rugby Next Gen here from Eric Tweedale Stadium. It is the Waratahs 97 defeating the Force 5. I'm Lockie Gray, in the commentary box, Liam Wright. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you all tomorrow.